Next tonight to some breaking news. NBC News, the first to report that disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein's lawyers have filed to appeal his 2022 criminal convictions in Los Angeles, according to court documents. This coming just weeks after Weinstein's rape conviction was overturned in New York. NBC News entertainment correspondent and the person who broke that story, Chloe Malas, joins us now on set. So, Chloe, I understand you just got off the phone speaking with Harvey Weinstein's attorney. What did he tell you?
Listen, I wanted to talk to his criminal defense attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, because she was the one who had been talking about potentially appealing this. And this is coming just weeks after his New York criminal conviction was overturned. Here's a little bit here's a little bit of what Jennifer told me just moments ago.
Harvey Weinstein's trial was a colossal mess, frankly. The number of errors that occurred, constitutional violations that transpired during the trial, invariably will lead to a new trial, or should.
So what they're saying, Ellison, is that they believe that there was evidence that they were not able to show in the trial. They also believe that they can poke holes into Jane Doe, this woman, as to where she was that night, and including poke holes into other individuals who may have been there who could actually speak against her story. So it will be interesting to see if a new trial is granted. And it's also further complicated because of this looming trial that may or may not be happening here in New York in the fall. I mean, Harvey Weinstein, he's in Rikers. If it wasn't for this LA conviction, he would be walking a free man right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of Arthur Adelio when we were talking about his attorney to start. That's his New York legal team. But I remember after that conviction was overturned here, he specifically predicated that in his case and going to appeals court on this idea that the Molyneux rule, which only applies in New York State, was being violated. Basically, you can't bring up like bad acts that were not criminally charged for in a case so that the jury doesn't consider other alleged bad acts. They're only doing what they're charged with. I remember, though, when that happened, one of our legal experts saying, ooh, in L.A., they must be freaking out, the prosecutors there, because they talked about that New York case so much when they were getting this conviction. Are they connected?
So, different states, different laws, right? And obviously these are different crimes that he's being tried for. But I love that you brought up the Molyneux witnesses. I sat through almost every single day of Harvey Weinstein's New York criminal trial. And what they had were individuals take the stand and talk about all the bad things that Harvey Weinstein had allegedly done that did not have to do with the crimes that he was being tried for. And what the New York appellate court said in their ruling was that those Molyneux witnesses should not have been admissible. So, it will be interesting to see if he does get a new trial in New York. Could we see Molyneux witnesses again? It doesn't rule it out just because of that ruling. He was serving this 20-year sentence in New York. When he was ever going to be done with that, he was supposed to then be extradited to L.A. to have that 16-year sentence run concurrently. Now, all he has really is that 16-year sentence looming. So, in theory, according to Jennifer Bonjean, Harvey Weinstein's criminal defense attorney, if they don't retry him in New York, or if they retry him and he's found innocent, and he goes to L.A. and he starts serving that sentence, and it gets appealed, and he has a new trial in L.A., and they win, in theory, in a few years, maybe you could see Harvey Weinstein a free man, like we've seen Bill Cosby and others who've been accused of similar crimes.
Really interesting stuff. Chloe Malas, amazing reporting. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.